She wants a young American. It's all right. She wants a young American.
Well, basically, my friend Kevin Cann, who is he's written books about Bowie, and he was temporarily, he was going to be my manager for a couple, but we didn't manage to make it work, but we didn't fall out or anything. But he was involved with many Bowie projects, and one of them, when Mick was on not feeling very well because he's got the cancer. He was recording his last LP, Heaven and Hell, which Bowie is on a couple of tracks, and Kevin was driving from the studio to to Mick's place, and I was in between. So he rang me up and said, "Is it all right if he brings Michael round?" And I thought, "Who's Michael?" Of course, it's Mick. Said he brought, because he knew how much I loved Mick and his music. Because after Bowie they split, I followed Mick just as much as Bowie, and because my all-time favourite song is Moon Age Daydream, which is covered in Mick Ronson, you know. So he brought Mick round, and he came in and he sat down and I made him a cup of tea, and my daughter was a few months old, so I popped my daughter on his lap and took a photo of him, and on my sofa in my flat, Mick Ronson. It's just amazing. And then I had actually met Mick, and Kevin actually set this up when Mick played a show with Sandy Dillon at the Brixton Fridge. And Angie Bowie her band was around at the time as well. They were on the bill, and I was a video disc jockey, because that was the new thing with lots of TV screens. And so I got a flyer with Mick Ronson, Sandy Dillon, Angie Bowie, and Spizz as VJ at the bottom. So yeah, and I shook Mick's hand, and when Mick went solo, he did the solo Slaughter on 10th Avenue tour. I was still living in Birmingham, and I went to the Birmingham Town Hall and saw him, and I waited outside the back because they gave you a free folder with a flexi disc record and a photograph of Mick, and I got Mick to sign it. So that's the first time I met him in the 70s. And then when Mick passed away, a year later, a memorial concert was set up with Mick, with Kevin Cann was the organizer, and I got to know Maggie Ronson through it, and Mick's brother, fantastic guy, and I was basically his assistant. I was Kevin Cann's production assistant, so I had various jobs where I had to go and pick up Mick Ronson's mum, because she was coming to the memorial concert from Hull, so I had to go to the station with Mrs. Ronson card that you see at airports and stations. And I picked her up and had to take her to the hotel near Hammersmith, where the concert was taking place. And I said, "No, I've got to dash off now." She said, "Oh no, you're not going anywhere without a cup of tea?" So I had a cup of tea and a biscuit, and then I went up back to do other run-around jobs, like I had to go and get the sticks for Woody, because he wants a particular Zildjian drumsticks. And then I also helped out on the night. I wrote out the set list for the Spiders from Mars, and I wrote out, I had to get people from the stage, from the dressing rooms to the stage. So I was sort of like doing several jobs. And then, yeah, so that's my involvement with Mick, and it's quite a special memory.
Let's talk about David Bowie.
Well, obviously he was an inspiration to me. I saw the Top of the Pops, but I heard the song Starman on the radio, and that's what first got my excitement. And then on holiday on the beach, on the radio on the beach, I thought, that's a Starman. So then we went back home, because we didn't have a TV where we were staying in the 70s. They didn't have televisions in the chalet on the beach. So when I saw what I saw, this creature from outer space, you know, and he did it down the camera, affected loads of people in the music industry now said that it was. So then I bought the album Ziggy Stardust, and I loved it. That was my first proper rock LP, serious LP I ever bought. And of course then I started buying music papers to read all about all the music I started to like, the glam rock, Roxy Music, and Alice Cooper. I like the theatrical glam rock, not the tinsel glam rock. And so then my first ever proper rock concert was to see David Bowie, 1973, June 22nd, Birmingham Town Hall, row 3, £1.50 to get in. And of course, Mick Ronson, the lights, strobe. I'd never been to a rock concert before. Not a real, you know, I've seen a guy playing a guitar in a local, but this was the real deal. And I thought, that's what I want to do. And I actually jumped on stage as the band went off before the encore. And I got hooked up by Stewie George, the security guy, and he took me downstairs and said, right, you can go back and watch the show, but don't do that again. So that was a terrific memory. And then, of course, my first trip to London was because of David Bowie. I wanted to see David Bowie at Wembley with the Station to Station tour in 1976. So that was my first trip to London. I thought, London is great. The train, there's loads of trains here. Tube trains and buses, and you don't get told off for being scruffy when you go to a pub. I thought, oh, and 4 years later, I was living in London.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then I, through Kevin, David Bowie was checking out new bands in 1978, 79. And he came to see Susie and the Banshees at the Rainbow in London. And my mate, Ray Stevenson, used to hang out with Bowie in the 60s. And he was chatting away in the VIP bar. And I said, Ray, introduce us. And he goes, oh, this is Spizz. And I went up to David and said, hi. And I said, he said, pat it on back, spit it out, son. I said, I was born in the same month as you. Stupid thing you say, you blurred out. But anyway, through Kevin Cann, I got to, Bowie had an art show at the, in what's it called? In Soho, Mayfair, Berkeley Square, there's an art gallery, and Bowie wanted, one of the jobs I got was, from Kevin, was to put posters up, but not in normal places, in art colleges on notice boards. So I went around with all these, can I put Bowie poster up? So that was one, and I got to go to the preview, because, yeah, so I got to stand next to Bowie and Iman at the art gallery. So that was a terrific thing to do. And then my latest connectivity with David Bowie is, I met Tony Visconti for the first time in 1980 when I was doing the, I was a bit part actor in Breaking Glass, and I had to look like I could play the drums. So I had to audit, because he was the musical director for Breaking Glass with Hazel O'Connor starring, and I could look like I could play the drums, and so I got the part, and I used to bump into him occasionally in Soho. And then I was at a Heaven 17 gig in the Roundhouse, and he was there because he was going to be working with Glenn Gregory. And I started talking to him. Oh yeah, I got this song about Denmark Street being ruined by the new developments in the area, and he was quite passionate about it too. So I said, I've got a song, and he said, well, send it to me, and I'll have a listen. And we sent it to him. He liked it. He mixed it. Christmas in Denmark Street. And then after that was so good, we said, oh, by the way, could you do one more? We want to do Valentine's Day. And again, it's the same thing. So we sent it over, and he liked it, and he mixed it for us. And it went to number 3 in the 7-inch vinyl chart. So my last hit record was at number 3 in the vinyl chart, thanks to Tony Visconti. And yeah, so that's, to be able to, oh yeah, the thing about that is that that album was produced and mixed by Tony Visconti, and this song mixed by Tony Visconti is the only song that's been done, the original and the cover version.
Ah. I have the question, you recorded it? Somebody recorded it and Tony mixed it? Or did...
Yeah, no, what we did, we recorded it all and put all the parts, the guitar and thing, and then just sent all the files over.
I got it.
Via the internet, and he mixed it and then sent it back. We had a couple of things, oh, can you change this a little bit? And so it was a collaborative. It's as if he was in the studio with us. And I think he did about 3 mixes, different mixes, till he got the right one.
And was it a present from him, or did
No, I had to pay for it.
You had to pay.
But it was a good value for money. I think he did the Christmas in Denmark Street for mates rates, and he did Valentine's Day for not a lot more. But I paid for that, so I've never seen the money. But I got what I wanted out of it. I got Valentine's Day vinyl, Tony Visconti, #3 in the vinyl chart. Happy days.
Hammer. Thank you, Spizz.
That's it.
It's all right. She wants a young American.